because they're not.
I know that it's here to the bed. I will
Check.
I can watch it.
Because I look at the KSD
On
and
I click on it and I can make sure that it's like not. So like every 2 weeks, I'm like, oh no, it's really not. Like I think that was tradition. So you know the little chain mail. I had to print one of those March. And I did that. So I read it in color too. And it's like 5 different colors. No, yes. And it was on 12.
I did. Yeah. I got
14 hours. So I started making it, you know, it's really slow. So well, these do a little slow first.
But they're not doing it.
And then it's well, it's faster.
So what's posted is
A little bit, yes. So it's like, yeah. So.
Yeah, I wish I could.
Yes, I know.
I'll wait the best discussion. And the discussion because student present graduation requirements will still has to be but then
I'll do that. I will put that down. Because I want to hear theory. Okay, thanks for like, yeah, I got
Well, good evening, everyone. My clock says 6 o'clock p.m. I'd like to welcome you to the USD 409 Board of Education meeting, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you haven't signed in, everybody but staff, please make sure you sign in on the back, and if you want to speak, you need to sign in on that. So thank you for that. Our first order of business tonight is the ordering and approval of the agenda as presented, and I entertain a motion for that, please.
I so move.
Thank you, Stephanie, and may I have a second? Thank you so much, Sally. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes unanimously with those here. We have several reports tonight, and first and exciting is our district bond project update, and I will have Dr. Renee introduce our guest.
Ryan, he's been here before, and he's going to give an update more specific to the elementary project, I believe, and we'll also just kind of give a general overview.
So good evening, Brian Roth from County Board of Construction. Thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay? So, yeah, to give an update on the bond projects, we bid our last project, which is the elementary school, which is pretty exciting. Really good turnout. We had 47 bids, which is a really good sign. Each trade had an average of 3 to 4 bids, which is really good. It means people wanted to be part of this project. We received a couple local bids. They weren't competitive enough, but we did get Waldinger out of St. Joe. They're going to do the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing for that project as well as the high school. That project consists of a new secure entryway, administration space, renovation to the support service space like your nurses and guidance counselor, and renovations to the pre-K area. So the project will start in June 1 and wrap up before school starts. While that's happening over the summer, that's also when the rooftop units are going to be being replaced. Some of that work has to happen from underneath, so that whole building's going to be kind of chaotic over the summer, just to give you a fair warning. High school, similar fashion. We're going to start that in March, over spring break, the locker rooms. We're going to try to get into the little theater and do some of that work during the school year as well. We'll secure the area with some partitions to keep the kiddos out and stuff and keep them safe. And then we'll tackle the secure entry over the summer area as well as the rooftop unit. So another building that'll be chaotic, lots of construction workers are there over the summer. The middle school air handling units will be less chaotic because they're being air handling units that are within their own spaces, so there'll be less people in there, but still people throughout there. The controls portions of all the mechanical is ongoing right now. Jay and David should start being able to see some of that come online right now. That'll continue to be happening behind the scenes over the summer until we get all the rooftop units set. Football fields, baseball fields, baseball fields done. This is really exciting. If you haven't been over there, please go look at it. It's pretty neat. The Moscow lighting is supposed to be going in here in the next couple weeks, so by the time they start playing baseball, it'll look really, really awesome out there, all lit up and really nice. So the football is the turf and track is supposed to happen over the summer, so starting in June 1. There's been a little hiccup with the track. We did some borings on there. It's potentially going to have to be replaced, the entire track. So we're right now working on pricing, what that looks like, schedule implications, that kind of stuff. The goal is to still tackle both of them over the summer, but we're going to focus our attention on the turf to get that done. Worst case scenario, we come back the following summer and do the track, but there's a good chance we'll do them all at once, but just want to keep everybody on the same page as that. So. But yeah, everything's looking good. Their master budget, you're still well under budget there, and I think we have some plans for some more roof stuff, so really exciting. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, just a reminder that we had also, at the same time we were doing this bond, put forth a 10-year plan for roofs. So any extra bond money we have will go to those roofs to try to get that 10-year plan down to 7. So that's our goal. Along with maybe a few upgrades we're looking at potentially giving a few upgrades to the fax room and maybe a potential few upgrades to the weight room, depending on budget. So we're feeling really, really good about coming in on or under budget, just as an accounting board promised us. And then last, the only summer school we'll have this summer because of all the construction will be our ESY extended service summer school extended year for special education. All of the ESY will be held at the middle school from Monday through Thursday, 8 to noon. And all lunches will be served out of there. We will most likely relocate all of the office staff and principals from the elementary and the high school also to the middle school during the month of June. So they'll be there to help out with that June summer school. Or there can be locations here at the board office, but we're gonna try to keep that space so workers can be in and out unimpeded all summer. So super excited.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next is our CTE presentation tonight, our Business Management and Entrepreneurship Pathway with DJ Lowry and Destiny Eiler. Welcome to the podium, ladies.
Good evening. My name is Desiree Lowry and I'm a junior at Atchison High. Today we are excited to provide you with an update on the Business Management and Entrepreneurship Pathway, a comprehensive program in line with our CTE pathways designed to prepare our students for success in business careers and entrepreneurship.
Destiny Eiler. I am a junior at Atchison High School. The Business Management and Entrepreneurship Pathways equip students with the essential skills in business, critical thinking, and entrepreneurship skills that are vital not only for their professional aspirations, but also for their everyday lives as responsible citizens.
Currently, we have 16 students actively participating in the business management pathway. We have 5 juniors on track to be completers next year and 6 sophomores who are on track to complete the pathway by 2027. We have around 80 underclassmen enrolled in the intro class of Business Essentials.
To complete pathways, students take specialized courses such as Business Essentials, Youth Entrepreneurship, Business Communication, Business Management, and Applied Business Development. Each course builds on the last and gives students a progressive and in-depth understanding of business management and entrepreneurship concepts.
In Business Essentials, students gain a foundation in economic principles, workplace communication, and basic business operations. This course introduces them to the fundamentals of finance and prepares them for more advanced coursework.
Next, in business management, students learn management skills and learn how to understand, planning, and analyze functions within a business. This foundational knowledge is critical for careers in business.
Following that, business communications helps students to develop effective communication skills in business situations and environments. Students learn how to utilize all forms of communication and professionally exchange information in a business setting. Functions, processes, and applications in the context of business are practiced through problem-based projects and real-world applications.
In youth entrepreneurship, students apply what they've learned to create and manage your own business ventures. This course emphasizes innovation, leadership, and problem solving. In a capstone project, students will pitch their business ideas to local business leaders or mentors.
Finally, in applied business development, students apply their learning to develop and manage large projects while assuming the responsibilities and risks associated with the projects.
Beyond the classroom, the Business Management and Entrepreneurship Pathway offers students opportunities for real-world application. Through partnerships with businesses, internships, and programs like FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, students gain hands-on experience and valuable networking opportunities.
The Business Management and Entrepreneurship Pathway is more than a series of classes. It's a comprehensive program that gives students the confidence, skills, and tools they need to succeed in a competitive global economy.
We're proud of the progress our students are making in this program, which will set them up multiple students to be pathway completers, including DJ and myself. I will be completing the pathway along with my VOTEC certificate. We are both set to be completers by next year, and we're excited to see the long-term impact this pathway will have on our futures.
Thank you for your continued support of initiatives like the Business Management and Entrepreneurship Pathway. Together, we're preparing our students to become the business leaders and innovators of tomorrow.
We're proud of the progress we've made and look forward to expanding opportunities for all students through this program. Thank you, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
That's so exciting to hear, and so I'm excited for you. How many did you say were coming up in your pathway?
We currently have 16 in the pathway.
16. That's awesome.
And 80 are starting the pathway.
80. 8 freshmen.
80 freshmen, yes.
Some of them may be
Freshmen
like
and
splitting off into different pathways, but they're still taking
Still
the
taking,
page
sure.
that could lead into this pathway.
Beautiful.
And
Wonderful.
how many years have we had this pathway?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Oh, we've had it for a long time?
Yeah.
But it's just really picking up. Correct.
Good.
Can you each share what your, next 3-year goal is? Like, where do you plan to be post-graduation from Atchison High?
I'm currently looking at college options, but I know that I'm going to be going to college for psychology.
Very good.
I am also looking at college options, but I'm planning on nursing.
Good.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies.
Okay.
Very nice presentation. And I would like to add, I think it's CTE,
celebration month, or recognition month, so we really appreciate
It's also
pathways.
SLA week.
And FBLA week, which you guys did very well last week.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So great. Next is Dr. Nugent is going to talk about the recognition award from Angie, that Angie Gray received.
Actually, I'd like Angie to step up, and I think we should give her a round of applause. So
Angie
Angie,
Gray.
so recently we received word, and Angie sent an email that's like, is this a scam? Because we're so on the alert for, spam email, and we said, no, this is not. You have truly earned this honor, I believe that Nicole and Jackie nominated Angie back when she was teaching 3rd grade math and had a club specific to math and STEM work around the area of math. And they nominated her, and she became a national recipient of this award. So we wanted to invite you to recognize you, and also just an opportunity to tell the board what this award is, and I know there's some finance involved in that and what all that means.
I haven't seen anything, so I don't know. I never in a million years thought that I would actually receive it. So it's kind of like 3 years in the making. I think this started in 22. So when I received the email, I honestly thought it was a joke. I mean, I didn't know what to think, so I'm very honored. I'm very thankful to the school for allowing me to have the after-school math club. I would love to be able to bring it back again, hopefully in the future, because it really did get kids excited about math, especially at the younger age. I think if you can get them excited, it just carries on through. So I'd love to be able to bring that back. So I know COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of things, and that was one of them. So I can't thank you all enough for asking me to come tonight.
And I believe she'll be formally recognized in Topeka a week from Thursday or Friday, I believe.
Friday, I believe.
And Angie, just for the board's sake, how many years in USD 409?
I believe this is my 16th.
16th year, and then what else can you tell us about this becoming a little bit of a family tradition?
Well, I have 2 daughters. Ashley Funk was nominated last year for Teacher of the Year. She started in Oklahoma and had a baby and realized she wanted to be closer to babysitters. So she came back, we got her, I got a hold of Nicole and said she's thinking about coming back to Kansas, so got Ashley in. And then my oldest daughter, Amber, is in the Parish Teach program. So it is a family affair right now. Yes. Especially the intermediate side, because we've got now 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
That's awesome. That's
Well,
so great.
congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Very well deserved. That's so awesome. Next is our Atchison Middle School Building and Site Council report. Mr. Bilderback, welcome. And everybody else that's
Yeah. Thank you for having us. We're going to talk a little bit about Atchison Middle School. I brought a lot of friends, as you can see, and so you listening to me all night. We're going to go through and let them do a little talking too. So what we're going to be learning about is several different things, some changes that we've had, behavior growth, data, some growth, social emotional learning, and we'll also be talking a little bit about what we're doing to engage civic engagement. So we're going to get right into it with some changes and updates that we have going on. And one of the first things that we want to bring up is we introduced a new class this year. Miss Tracy Jones is our teacher. We have her 3 hours of the day, and she's teaching health. So I'm going to let her come up and talk a little bit about her class.
Thank you very much. So, good evening, members of the board, colleagues, incredible students. It's so good to see you guys. How are you? And community members. I'm Tracy Jones, and I teach health, which has been such a great thing at the middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And I just made Gabby come up here I'm sure she's gonna hate me tomorrow, but you know, we're gonna get through this. So teaching middle school health is so much more than just lessons. It's about equipping students with real life skills and knowledge and confidence to be able to make decisions. And I think my focus is on empowering them to make smart, safe, and everyday healthy decisions. So I utilize a lot of teaching strategies, and this is why I asked you to come up here. Because, you know, lots of things work. And one of these things is plushies. So you hold this, that's a louse. This is a heart. This is one of the parts of the blood. This is plasma. Okay. Here's another louse, so now you have lice. Here's another heart, just in case one gets broken. And then we also have a white blood cell. And we have COVID. This is actually what it looks like. That's COVID. And we also have the flu. Hang on, there's the flu. Isn't the flu cute? Okay, the flu, and then the red blood cell. Okay, so we've done a lot of things, and I've helped them to have some hands-on experiences that have been really great, like what's a stethoscope and how does that work? And then the other thing, really quickly, if I can find it in my bag of tricks, is we have models that we use that we can take apart. So here's a heart. Okay. You want to play with that? Feel free to place apart. And so then we're learning about oxygen saturation and heart rate and pulse and everything else, right? Here you go. Got this? Let's see what yours is. See, you knew. That was good. Okay. Okay, so to me, it's very important for health class to be, a safe space, to ask a lot of tough questions, to think about being solution-oriented. How do we handle conflict? And how do we reach out for help when we need to? So it's not just body systems, it's a big part of it, all those things. But we talk about everyday things. You do. So investing in health education it's been great, and thank you for that opportunity to be able to do that. It's been a lot of fun. It's prevention, it's empowerment, and it helps build a strong student base and foundation, and actually in the long run helps the community, because right now we're working on CPR. Has that been fun or what?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, yeah. Just keep your savior, Banton. Okay, good, okay. So I just want to say thank you, and that's a little bit about it. I know we have stuff up on the slide, but I cannot see it, so anyway. So, and do we show those? Yeah, look at that, look at those plushies up there. That's 6th grade, they love them. They've actually started playing COVID football. That's a bit of a problem sometimes, but it sails across the room sometimes, but that's okay. So anyway, thanks for listening, thanks for the support, and I'm glad to be here.
Her second master's, her PE endorsement, and help me out with what else?
Health is coming? Well, actually, it's done. It won't be here till Valentine's Day with the state.
You got your teaching license.
Congratulations.
Sorry, Chad.
So you're good? No, that's perfect. So as you can see, she covers a lot of different things. We just wanted our kids to have some basic skills to go out in real life, CPR, AED basics, know about the body, just something that they can carry on real life, real world situations. She's done an amazing job. So, and every mannequin needs a hoodie, so there's lots of fun with it. So another change and update. So we're going to kind of go through the changes and updates that we're doing from last year to this year. One of the things that our teachers were really adamant about is that we had last year we had put all of our SEL into our core support classes. They said we don't know what's going on and we want to be a bit more involved, and so we actually changed to Character Strong instead of what we had previously, which I have someone that's coming up to talk about that later, but the teachers really wanted to be hands-on with it so they can get to know their kids and be in that process and know what's going on. So we changed that So now it's back into advisory. So we tried it that way. It didn't work out like we were going to, so we put it back in there. They're also doing goal setting, grade checks, and conferencing individually with those kids. So that's been a nice change. It's been really good. So it keeps it more cohesive building wide instead of just one person being responsible for a lot of different things. So that changed our core support class. The bottom things we were still currently doing already in that class. They've really focused on a lot of data, using that data from iReady to really drive in their lessons and be more specific. They're doing small groups with kids based off their skill needs, but they're still doing that SEL. And so what we did was we found three different books. Each grade level has a different thing that they're focusing on. 8th grade is doing 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. 7th grade is doing executive functioning, and 6th grade is doing zones of regulations, and that was based on age of kid. And so we thought that they'll get that double dose of SEL along with the individualized stuff that they're doing in core support based off the data that we have, and also building on some prerequisite skills for like math and reading. So that's been a little bit of a change. One other thing that they also noticed is that some of our kids needed additional time to get some building of skills. And so when they were, instead of going up for co-teaching and support time, they said, can we pull a few kids here and there once a week so we can backfill some skills? And we're trying that this semester because they saw a need for that. And so that is new for us, and they're basing it all off that data from iReady. And they're tailoring those skills to help get what those kids need so that they can have a lot of growth. So we're just recently trying that out, and so far it's been working. We've seen a lot of growth with a few kids. We've had kids with like informational text jump from several grade levels below to now they're either on grade level or right there. So that's been awesome to see. So we're just now in the beginning stages of that. So I've talked a little bit, so I'm going to turn it back over to someone else. We're going to talk about Unified Champions.
Okay, so this is our first year of having Unified Champions at the middle school. It has been super awesome to see kids with disabilities and kids that don't have disabilities like getting together and actually doing something and doing it well. So we had a bowling night at Moore Hill, and that was so much fun. We had like hot dogs and everything. Brian Keegan was kind of the main head of that, but the middle school jumped right in, and it was so much fun. We also did beside the door decorating at Christmas, and all the classes across the board got involved. Like it was really fun. And then we look forward to the polar plunge on February 26th that Brian Keegan has been heading up. So it's going to be so much fun, and our kids are looking forward to it. And we also have class competitions to see which middle schoolers get to go, and the Unified Champions Club gets to go. So it should be really fun. Okay, next is Scholars Bowl. I'm also the Scholars Bowl coach, and this is one of my 5 people that's on the team. And she so this is our first year of having Scholars Bowl at the middle school. And when's our first meet, Leah?
Our first meet is on Friday, which is also Valentine's Day, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, but we're really excited and we're ready to go, we think. We just have to watch a little more History Channel. Okay, we're good.
So we're actually hosting that day, and Scholars Bowl is new with the new league that we came into, and so I think we're hosting 4 different schools that day, and so it's going to be awesome. We'll have a lot of fun. So next we're going to talk a little bit about some social emotional learning, some changes that we've had in that area, along with Character Strong and some other things. So I'm going to turn it over to Lori Adams, our assistant principal at the middle school.
Alright, so our behavior data, we like to celebrate any success, and so we were 11 major referrals less this year than we were last year for first semester, so we are doing our best to make some headway there. But in all seriousness, we really are, when we talk with kids, we're looking at how to change behavior, not just giving them a consequence and sending them back to class or sending them to ISS or OSS. We're having those conversations, trying to impact some change in those behaviors. So we're excited about those 11 that we didn't have this year. So when we look at our behavior data, we have 2 committees. We have our SEL committee and our GEI. SEL looks at tier 1, that's the overall, what can we do for the whole student body. That is our character strong system and those types of things that, you know, every student gets. And so they also look at trends of what types of behaviors are we seeing, when are we seeing these in the hall more, in the classrooms more, are Thursdays harder than Wednesdays type thing. So looking at that type of trend data. Our GEI drills down into our individual students and looks at tier 2 and 3. They make recommendations for interventions for specific students. This we also use some character strong in addressing some of those behaviors that we see repeated out of specific groups or individual students. So this year, one thing that the SEL team took on was combining a lot of our systems that we had. We had a whole bunch of different things going on, and we combined it into one SOAR rubric, and we looked at certain places that we wanted to address what behaviors we want to see. And so we kept it really positive and telling the kids what we want to see instead of what we don't want to see in the rubric. And so we defined what we want to see in the classroom, around the whole campus, and then we have also talked to the kids about they represent Atchison Middle School outside of Atchison Middle School. So we talked about what we wanted to see in the community. And each month in our monthly assemblies, we talk about one of our areas of focus, which is success, optimistic, accountable, and respectful. And so we really drill down and focus in on one of those for the students to really explore. We also developed our SOAR slips this year, which recognizes students for exhibiting the behaviors that we want to see through that rubric. This has been a great opportunity to have the kids celebrate their own successes. I don't know how many times, even now in February, where kids still come up and say, I got another SOAR slip, and they're excited to show us. It's a carbon copy, so one of the copies goes in a drawing each week, and the other goes home so their parents can see right away what good things their kids are doing. Then on Fridays, we have a drawing where there's a winner from each grade level, and they get to come and spin a wheel. Our publication production class comes in and videos the kids get spinning the wheel, and then this goes out in our newsletter each week. And so the kids have really embraced it, and it's really given us more of a positive look on what we're looking for, and we're finding you look for those positives, you find them, and the kids are really feeling it also. So.
Awesome. So yeah, we really kind of tried to keep things, simplify a lot of things, and one of the things, like Lori said, is if one of the things that we always say to our staff is if we look for positive, we're going to see positive. If we look for negative, we're going to see negative. So we've decided to focus on looking at the positive things that we have going on in our schools. So next up is Character Strong. This is that new program that we are doing, and I've got Mr. Curley. He is part of the SEL team. He's going to talk a little bit about Character Strong.
Yes. So Character Strong is our, like you said, our new curriculum. It's pretty awesome. It has a lot of the same goals of what we were doing before, but I think the biggest difference is it's a lot more fun. Like, we have a blast teaching Character Strong. It's got games in it. Students seem to be more engaged. I also love that we're all teaching it. Because Chad could have brought in any teacher in our building to do the presentation I'm doing right now, because all of us teach it, which is really cool. One thing that's kind of new, it has a character dare, which we have every week. And I feel like I've told my kids that they can prove that they did the character dare, I'll automatically give them a SOAR slip, so that's been kind of a thing. And but this week's was to write a note to the nurse, like that she's doing a good job. So they have really cool things. And it's the same on every grade level. So even though we're teaching different skills, the character dare is always the same, which is kind of cool. So I could go into an 8th grader or a 6th grader and they have the same character dare. Some of the other things, the skills it picks, I feel like, have been really good. This week's lesson was on stress, and I really liked it because it talked about the difference between stress and that we can control and what we can't control, and it had skills for both, and I thought it did a really good job. So it's been really good. Yeah. I don't know, so any questions or anything else? You want me to point out?
No, that's it.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
One thing that we are finding out with Character Strong is we are just scratching the surface with what it has for us. It has PD, it has tier 2 sessions, so if we do have those kids that, like Lori mentioned, that are continually showing up with particular behaviors, they have lessons pre-designed for us that Lori and I can sit down and go over with them, anybody could, and those things are on coping skills, self-regulation, self-management, and some relationship building things. So it has a lot of great stuff in it, and that's what this Character Strong, our SEL team is really diving into. They're actually going to go to the Character Strong Regional Conference in Kansas City February 27th to learn a little bit more, connect with some more people. So it's been an awesome program and a great change that we're finding out as we go along. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about some data. We're going to start with, we've talked a lot about iReady. This slide here shows iReady math, fall versus winter. You'll notice that we have shown a lot of growth. We're getting kids from red to yellow, yellow to green. We have the most recent at the top in the fall that we did. Down below, you'll see the progress towards annual typical growth. So that's the median kid, the kid right in the middle. They have met 80% of their typical growth for the year, halfway through the year already. So that's a great, awesome thing to see, because if they're behind, they have to get a year's growth plus a little bit more. So that's really where we're diving into this data as well. Same thing in ELA. We're a little bit higher on that typical growth for our kids. And then this slide, I really like this slide because if you look at the top here on the top left, where it says the 43%, and it says 100% met. So that means 43% of our kids have met their 100% typical growth. So almost half of our kids have already met their year-long growth. Same thing in ELA, we have 48%. So we're doing really well. And so we're going to dive into the data with those other students have not quite met that, but it's okay. We still have a whole half of the year to go, so we're doing really well with the growth. One of the things that our teachers do on a regular basis is look at that, and they pick out individual kids, where they're at, high growth, low growth, where they're going and where they need to be, and then making plans, asking questions, what do we need to do next, that sort of thing. So this is just one of the tools that they use along with all the visible learning stuff that we've been doing to really focus in and hone on each individual kid. For example, here's a picture of we're talking with kids about their data and making goals and setting that and showing them where they're at and how they went from here to here. And so it's been, instead of us just looking at the data, we're sharing it with the kids, making them be a part of the experience and really honing in with each individual kid. And one of the other things that we're doing along with our continued visible learning stuff is getting down to those essential skills, essential standards, and then building long-range and short-term planning with those learning intentions and success criteria. This is an example of 7th grade math, and the real key to this that we're working on now is getting our kids to be able to understand and reflect on where they're at in their learning for that particular thing, that particular success criteria. Do I know it? Am I almost there? What do I need to do next? And giving feedback to their teachers, and so that way, because the learning is not for the teacher, it's for the student, and so we want to make sure that they can tell us what they're learning and be able to show us what they're learning, and that's really what that is all about. So I'm going to turn it back over for another slide to Lori for attendance, which is another goal. Something that we're looking at is our chronic absenteeism was way too high, and so we've really been focusing on getting that at a better percentage.
So our current data is 78% of our students have an attendance rate of 90% or better. And 13% are kind of kids that I look at are kind of the bubble kids. They're at 85 to 90%. So, we can get those kids moved up, and, it's flu season. So we're struggling a little bit right now. But, really talking with kids. What do we need to do to help get to school? Those types of things. So we'll be having conferences with those kids individually to find out what they need support-wise at school, what we need to know about their school experience to get them attending on a more regular basis. We've had class competitions this year to encourage kids to come to school. The winning first hour class got donuts for whoever, after a month's time, whoever had the best attendance rate. If a student does have 2 unexcused absences in a row, we're contacting home, finding out where they're at. Is there something going on that the school needs to know that we can help them out with? Reminder to send them a medical note. You know, sometimes those things when your kids are sick just slip your mind. So those are some of the things that we're doing to try to help our families with getting their kids to school. We try to build that relationship and partnership that, you know, we're not on the opposite side of them, that we're not working against each other, that we want to help them out. And so sometimes it's just a simple phone call.
And a lot of it too is just awareness. We put something in our newsletter each week to show, you know, hey, here's where you would be considered if you had this many absences and that sort of stuff. Put little blurbs out here and there, just keep it in people's faces, because sometimes as the year goes along, we kind of forget, oh yeah, we were sick for a week last quarter, that sort of thing, and it does add up over time. So just an awareness of where their child is and that sort of thing. So next we're gonna look at civic engagement. We have student council Ks and our service projects, as well as at the middle school level, we really we are the start of the IPS and the individual plans of study. So we start out at 6th grade, even though we don't have to. We start at the 6th grade because we don't really have to start until 8th grade, but we wanted to start early just to get our kids introduced to those career paths. Mrs. McDaniel really does a lot when she goes in on her Real World Wednesdays. And so I'm going to let her come up and kind of chat a little bit about, we're bringing back job shadow. We used to have it a long time ago. We're bringing that back. And so I'm going to let her talk a little bit about that as well. I'll get that.
So at the top of this, you'll see, let me zoom in here. At the top of this, you'll see kind of how we progress through 6, 7, and 8. So career exploration is in 6th grade. Students begin to explore career opportunities through a variety of hands-on activities. We kind of did a grab bag, and they had a tractor. What kind of careers could you do with this toy tractor? You know, trying to get them thinking. And so 7th grade, I'm really excited. We're bringing back Job Shadow Day. They'll be, this will allow students to truly begin to look at, really, is this what I want to do? I think this is what I want to do. But we've used an audience and like hook them up with the interests that they have. That's our district career and college readiness. And then 8th grade, as pathways, we will begin helping them understand that there's pathways to careers. You know, so the most exciting part is the 7th grade Job Shadow Day. It'll be Friday, May 2nd. Students will take, use an audience to take their interest inventories and match them with possible careers. They'll do research on and compare 3 different careers, and then create a resume. I'm going to have them make phone calls to people and say, hi, introduce themselves, and I'd like to speak to somebody about doing a job shadow experience. And that way they get that communication piece as well. And then following Job Shadow Day, they'll write a reflection on their experience, and take a date to be determined later. They'll hold a career fair for our 6th graders to get our 6th graders excited about, oh, look what's coming next in 7th grade. And so here are some of the participating businesses that I've reached out to and are willing to take some of our kiddos. So, yeah. Any questions? I'm excited.
Again, another opportunity for us to really connect the outside world and what they're going to do in the future to the classroom. So we have student council up next. We're doing a lot of different projects, and I'm going to let Mrs. Weedle come up and again talk about that for just a second.
Okay, so our student council has been like out of the water awesome this year. I think we have like 20 to 24 kids that show up every other Tuesday morning before school to come in and give me and Chad ideas for what they want to do. no matter what they are, I always bring them up to Chad, right? And Leah is going to go into some of the things that we've done so far this year.
So something we actually did today to help inspire students a bit, I guess, was at each lunch we had kids write down nice things like "have a good day" or "you matter" on little hearts. And tomorrow morning we're going to go and tape them on all of the lockers, just to brighten someone's day for Valentine's Day, you know. And then we went to a conference in KC where we witnessed this very amazing person giving us stuff about leadering skills, which was very, very nice. And we got to be with high schoolers there too, and we got to see what student council was like in high school, which I will really try to join. And then for homecoming, we put little washable tattoos on everybody to raise spirit for the school. We did a water balloon toss fundraiser also for homecoming, where if you paid $1, you would get the chance to throw a water balloon at a teacher, which that was very, very fun. And then the giving tree, you got to put you could put chapsticks, socks, anything that people at the senior center would need. And then we also organized that the band and choir, which I am both in, to go perform therefore at the senior center and we took the stuff to them, and that was really fun too. The Ronald McDonald Pop House Pop Tab was you collected all the tabs from soda cans, soup cans, all those cans, and each one was about how much money?
I don't remember how much money we raised, but we raised so many pounds. I think it was like 50 pounds of pop tabs or something crazy. But the winning class got to throw a pie at Mr. Bilderback. So, so they had fun with that. But that's Stuco. Thank you.
Thank you. So fun.
Getting our kids involved, that's what it's all about. Next up is going to be our K's, which is our Servant Leadership Club. Again, just getting kids involved. The kids that are involved tend to be more successful. So, all right, I'm gonna turn it over to them.
And this is Jenny Smith. She's one of our sponsors for that. The other one is Kylie Copeland, who couldn't be here tonight.
Okay, so I brought my board members minus one who was at basketball tonight. So this is Gentry and Kiana. They're my co-presidents. And then there's Gabby here, who is the secretary, and then our media person is Gracie Jewel. So the other guy that couldn't be here is our treasurer. So we've had a lot of lots of opportunities to show our leadership skills and our community service. So I won't read that out loud. But basically, what we focus on is character building, leadership, and doing community service projects. So far this year, we're not done yet. We got a lot to do. So the rake and run, and Kiana, you're gonna have about the rake and run. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so for our fall project, we did a rake and run, which is where we raked leaves and bagged them for the area businesses. We visited the fire station, City Hall, Theater of Atchison, the Atchison Middle School, and a few churches close to the school.
Any monster bookmarks?
Hi, my name is Gabby Rutan, and I'm a 7th grader in Atchison Middle School. For our service project in December, we bought treats and played bingo with the senior village.
My name is Kiana Richardson, and I'm an 8th grader at Atchison Middle School. For our winter project, we made Valentine's Day cards with encouraging messages to give to the senior village.
My name is Gracie Julo, and I'm a 7th grader at Atchison Middle School. Our case group has been to a few different conferences. During these conferences, with our case member and other schools, we shared ideas for fundraising and community service projects. We also made dog toys and tie blankets to donate to those in need.
A couple other things we did is, I don't have pictures, but we did a welcome bags for the new students. So when the new student comes in, they get a welcome bag. It has all kinds of goodies and treats in it. And also we have members, 2 members from 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and these members are the ones that will give them a tour before they step through the classroom, so they're not lost. So, that's something, a new thing we haven't done before, so. And then we also are gonna be doing some, fundraising. There's this great leadership camp that they have at Rock Spring Ranch. I went to Rock Springs Ranch when I was like in 6th grade too, so it's pretty cool. Anyhow, they go for 5 days. We take them down Monday and then they're till Friday, and I can just see the difference between when they first take them and when they come out. They're leaders. Jack Finnegan is the one I really remember, because he was so quiet in my class in 6th grade, so quiet, and he went to that leadership camp, and then this year when I had in class, it was amazing. I mean, he was a leader, and I think a lot of it has to do with what they learned at that camp. So we're going to be doing some fundraising, and we're going to try to get as many people as we can. It is expensive, so we're going to have to do lots of fundraising. So if anybody hits you up, that's why. Yeah.
A little bit more about the nursing home. So we went during the holidays because some elderly and the residents, they don't have a lot of families, so they get lonely and everything. So we went to the holiday to keep them in company. At first, when we got there, they didn't really want to participate, you know. But as we started playing bingo and everything, they got more active in the games and everything. We just had a really good time.
So we meet once a month on Tuesdays. We're going to meet twice this month. I don't feel like we have enough time, but that's all. We can't take the kids out of class, so I wish we had more time, but anyhow.
How many members?
There's 28.
This is awesome.
It used to be KS, and then back when we old ones were there. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you for your hard work, and thank you for all you do.
And lastly, what we started last year is just to get our kids, again, getting out in the community, having that servant leadership spirit. Is each class, we kind of model this off what the high school is doing, is they pick a service project that they go out and do as an entire class, and so the kids get to go out and experience that. 6th grade went to AES and shared some poems and read some things with them. 7th grade they did some stuff for the Humane Society, and 8th grade went over to ACCA and helped out Miss Sowers.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
They worked so hard.
And our
They
kids
got ice cream 2 weeks later too. They worked that hard.
So again, seeing the kids in a different light, you know, and when they get in those situations, they really blossom, and we're proud of all the things that they do. So that's really a lot. We do a lot of other things. That's just kind of highlight some of the things that we do at Ashton Middle School. So if anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Like a hopping place.
We are constantly on the go. We're constantly on the go. So all right.
I just want to thank you all for all you do, because that's truly, middle school's hard. And, you know, they're finding themselves, and it's so great. So thank you for being so supportive. Good work. Keep it up, guys. Next, we do have some public comments, and I would like to read, this is the time in our meeting set aside for public comments. The board appreciates patrons taking time to talk to us about USD 409 policies and procedures. The board does adhere to certain guidelines during the comment that include to sign in, the request to appear before the board. We do impose a 3-minute time limit. We ask that if groups have the same interest, which these do not, and the comments shall be limited to issues and not personalities. This is not an appropriate time or place to make comments of the personnel nature about any district employee or anyone else. Persons making comments that violate the privacy rights of district employee will be asked to terminate their remarks. The board may refer your issue or concern to administration. So with that being said, I'd like to invite Susan Draft to speak to us about cell phone use. Welcome.
Hi, my name's Susan Draft. I'm lived in Atchison for about 20 years now. I'm a mother of 8 children,
Adult children. And I've just been coming to the board meetings just to kind of stay in touch with what's going on at school. And I remember hearing something about doing a cell phone policy. And I just wanted to mention, because I run into this where I work, that, and I've seen on, and maybe you already do it, that and it's a suggestion, that there's classes provided or information provided by the school, or sometimes it's the public library, about the dangers of giving your child
a smartphone. Now, I never let my kids have a phone, and if I were now, they might get a dumb phone, but they wouldn't get a smartphone, because what's involved is you have to be very on top of it. And I just don't think parents realize how dangerous it can be. Like one of the websites that I'd never guessed that that'd be a problem, sounds pretty innocuous to me, is OnlyFans. And I found out because I've been involved in helping with, or working against human trafficking. And what one of these seminars said, that's not only pornographic, that's a website where they start grooming kids. So it's just a matter of time. If your kid's on that and stays on that. So I just wanted to suggest that parents need to be forewarned, because like I said, that's pretty innocuous. I wouldn't guess anything like that. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you for your concern. I'm thankful. We're going to talk about that later too. Our new committee. So next up is Charo Kelly, and she's going to talk to us about scholarship. Welcome, Charo.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's so good to see everybody and hear all the good things that are happening at schools and middle schools. And I remember the water balloon toss and all the good things that are happening. And so good to be here. I actually came to talk to you today about, probably not as much you as the people there and people here, about the Atchison Community Education Foundation Scholarship. It is a scholarship that is awarded every year to one student. It's up to $20,000 per year, 2 to 4 year schools. Any schools in Missouri, Kansas, or Nebraska. Applications are being accepted now. You can talk to your guidance counselor. I didn't know Mrs. Williams and Mrs. Weedle were going to be here. They are on the board. And so we are looking forward to receiving those scholarships. Applications, they're due March the 1st. And we invite all students to apply. That is all I have. And I just wanted to, I don't know about DJ and Destiny, if they're still here, they did a fantastic job.
Yes, they did.
We have had this scholarship since the 90s, and so it's ongoing. We continue to expect to have this continuing to go. So all of those great students that came up today, the middle school, all of you all, keep us in mind as you approach your senior year. We do award one scholarship, sometimes 2 per year. Again, full ride scholarship, room, board, tuition, books to any college in Nebraska, Kansas, or Missouri. Thank you.
Charles, thank you so much. Good to see you.
You too.
You guys get out there and apply for that scholarship. That's, wow. So we don't have any action items this evening, but we do, oh, wait, no, I missed the consent agenda. Okay, you guys. Next, could I have a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you so much. And a second? Thank you so much, Sally. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you so much. It does pass unanimously. Now, we don't have any action items tonight. So we're going to move on to items for discussion and consideration. And I think we're going to talk about our new accreditation. Well, it's not new, but our accreditation process.
So when I came to the district in my 6th year now, I was new to the Cognia experience. At that time, actually, it was advanced ed, and it was switching over to Cognia. And at the same time, the state had rolled out, we were in probably year 3 or 4 statewide with KISA, the Kansas Education Systems of Accreditation. And Atchison had always kind of done both the state accreditation or Cognia, and at one time you could choose, but when KISA came out, you had to do KISA. And so we finished that year through Cognia, became very highly accredited through Cognia, and did the legwork for KISA. And I say we, but I don't know if Jackie's sitting in here, she's back there, but she was our Cognia guru, to be fair, and still is for the most part. And she had a team that she worked with Cognia. KISA has evolved into a decent accreditation system, much better than it was when it started 5 years ago. So they're in that 2nd cycle. And now accreditation is no longer, you only get accredited every 5 years. Now through the State Department, you will get accredited every year. And there is a a way that happens and a mechanism, and I'm really working to educate our staff. At the last couple of in-services, they had an opportunity to learn about accreditation. My principals are understanding the KISA project. So I guess what I'd like to put to the board for discussion is, and it's just discussion tonight, we don't have to take any action until next week. But I would like the board to begin to consider, do we need to continue with 2 systems of accreditation in our district? Or would we just like to focus on the state model, which is KISA? I would be happy to share some of the pros and cons of both with you. You just tell me what information you want and I can help with that. So I just open the discussion or the floor for discussion.
I'd like to know if there would be any advantage to continue to do both, since KISA is required, we will continue doing that every year. So would there be any advantage to continuing Cognia?
So Cognia does take a little more spin on a continuous improvement model, although KISA, like I said, is getting better. In the past, Cognia truly was an advantage for us. We're situated in a community that has private school systems and a public school system. And it used to be private schools were accredited through Cognia. And so for us to be accredited through Cognia, that was an advantage because it was apples to apples. We're all accredited through the same system. So it truly was, I believe, worth our time at that time. Now, those systems also have to become accredited through KISA, so that does put us on a more level playing field. So I do believe at one point, yes, it was beneficial. I think that is not as much as it used to be.
Is there any cost with these? Would we be saving a lot?
Yes. That's one of my reasons for this recommendation is as we're a school of declining enrollment, and I'm asking my principals to really look at reining back on a lot of what we do because we can't afford to keep the same levels we're keeping. Cognia does come at a cost, and it comes at a cost of not only monetary but time. We're asking people to do double the work, but also, yes, a cost. And I think I had Lori look that up. I want to say it's $6,000 a year-ish for Cognia that we could save. Yeah, it's rated on number of students, number of schools in your systems, etc. So it would be a cost savings.
Is KISA, I know Cognia well. It's many of many of your scores are based on your governance, policies. There's really, there is the use of data piece, but it's not, nowhere in there does it talk about, are you achieving at the state levels? It's just, is there data and are you watching for student improvement? So I don't know, maybe for looking at student improvement, it's probably better that we put our energies into KISA, because that's probably in there, is it?
Right, so it's gonna be a big piece. I know Chad has scared the daylights out of his staff because he's talked about, we've gotta get, like, urgency is the key when it comes to school improvement, because accreditation is really gonna hinge on that. It's still gonna be showing growth, for sure, but if you follow any of the legislative sessions like I do, and I'm glad our staff doesn't because that's a level of stress they don't need, but at the same time, I'm feeling that stress, and I will tell you that we do have to see academic gains, and that is a big component of the KISA accreditation process. There are still, governance is a piece, compliance is a piece. When Nicole talks about special ed compliance, she isn't joking. When we get put on plans with the state, that impacts our accreditation. When we don't follow discipline protocols and so forth, that impacts our accreditation. So it's very multifaceted. But yes, graduation rates, attendance, chronic absenteeism, all of the things Chad talked about, IPS, post-secondary success, at the elementary level, kindergarten readiness, and then those state assessment scores are going to play a big role in accreditation, as they should.
again,
Is that something you want us to?
I'd like you to mull over it,
Yeah.
and I don't know that technically we need a vote, but I would feel better if at some point the board did some actions. I will put it down as an action item next month. We don't have to make a decision next month, but I do believe as we're, moving into next year, we probably need to have a decision ready to implement by the July 1 new year, fiscal year. And that's all I have on that. Lots of good stuff to ponder. I'm up again.
Yeah.
Personal device.
Impact
I'm
task
gonna
force.
tag team this one with Nicole. So Nicole and I are tag teaming the personal device impact task force, which actually was brought up by an outside guest today. Thank you for that. We did talk about an education component to that task force. The first meeting was today. It was awesome. 5 students, 3 from the high school, 2 from the middle school, a teacher from the elementary, a teacher and a counselor from the middle school, 2 teachers and a para from the high school, community members, parents and community members, a physician, a pastor, just really neat things. Central has I'm gonna call it a zero tolerance, that really isn't it, but bell to bell, no cell phones. And we really don't see the issues at the elementary school, so we spared their administration having to come to another meeting. But some high school principal, middle school principal are involved. And we're looking at, this group will help the policy committee formulate a policy. So this isn't a decision-making group, it's a group that's gonna provide input around future policies around cell phone use. If you look in our handbooks, the elementary has a policy, the middle school has a policy, the high school has a policy, and Central has a policy. It's appropriate to have different levels of expectations based on your maturity and age level. But with that said, we should have a uniform policy that addresses those grade levels across the board. It's very interesting. We had 600 survey responses, 500 of which were students, a little under 500, the rest community parents. So I was very happy about that. And we talked a little bit about, I had just gone, so it was good timing, to some training on leveraging the different generations and how they think and making that positive. And it plays very nice in this committee because you have students who are adamant we can handle devices, and we have your baby boomers that says we aren't so sure about this, and everything in between. Nicole, do you want to hop into dialogue?
Yeah, one of the things we were most impressed about is this is the first time we can remember that we had so many applicants. We actually had to say no to people. So that's such a great problem to have because people really have a vested interest. And I really enjoyed the different spheres of influence. So from a physician, from a pastor, from the students themselves. So that was really powerful. And I think they all understand they'll get a lot of input and a lot to say, and they're willing to do homework. So they've got homework to look at policies in between. But I think it's going to be a great process. The time will be worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm really amazed. I mean, 600 survey respondents is a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that more than you got like on bond issue?
Yes. Yep.
That's impressive.
We will meet from noon to 1 every other Monday until the end of March. And our April meeting will be hopefully a draft of the policy to share with this committee for final just thoughts. Again, they don't get to make the policy, but they get to inform the policy. And then at the April board meeting, we hope to take the policy for a first read and the May policy a final read, and that way it could be ready for handbooks. So we're really excited about the process. You know me, I've been touting the book The Anxious Generation for a long time, so I took that today and people were welcome to borrow it. But as Nicole said, we gave homework. I mean, they have to read policies, they have to read the state board's expectations, and they're willing to put in the work. And we decided noon meetings, I know are not the best for teachers, but principals are covering those classes for 1 hour every other week. And the reason for that is because nights,
Right now, especially with snow makeup stuff, it's impossible to bring that diverse of a group together. Honestly, during the day is the best time to get student input, and this impacts students, so we want them a part of the voice, so.
And our board members, Carrie and Debbie and.
Sean.
And Sean, okay.
And Sean's also on the policy committee, so that'll be
Oh,
it.
perfect. Thanks, you guys, for serving.
All right, next is we're going to review our 26-27 school calendar. Right, and super close this year. What were we, 6% difference?
Oh, wow.
So calendar one, the draft one, which is the traditional calendar, won by a handful of votes. So really, really good this year, I thought. The only real change to this draft calendar that we are excited about, the committee is excited about, is that parent-teacher conferences. Is that on this one? Yeah, it's on this one. They will be back-to-back on Wednesday and Thursday, is that right, in September? I believe so. And then Friday off, and then the same in the spring. So there was a lot of discussion that when you have Tuesday, Thursday conferences, you're usually hitting one varsity sport night and one JV sport night. And in our district, we can live with a coach missing a night because we get it. But we rely on staff and teachers to also help run those events. And like, for example, tomorrow night is parent-teacher conferences. We have home basketball, away basketball, so I'm taking girls basketball in Wyandotte tomorrow night. People that normally run the clock have to be at conferences, so Tyler's gonna do that. So it just puts, so we're excited to try this. Now remember, this isn't until the 26-27 school year. We always are a year out, but in 2 years, we will have changed how we do conferences. That's the only change. Otherwise, it's a very traditional calendar. So again, this is first read of the calendar. And as a board, you always have the opportunity to accept or reject a calendar, but our practice has always been what the teachers want, they get, so. Anyway, you can look that over, and if you have questions before the next board meeting. Perfect. Next, we're going to enter into executive session.
Madam President, I move that the board go into executive session to discuss employment recommendations and individual employees' employment performance pursuant to non-elected personnel exception under KOMA, and the open meeting will resume in the boardroom at 8:10 p.m. and we will invite each principal in individually. If you'll kind of decide how you're going to come in and say next. That's it.
That's it. May I have a second for that, please? First. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Awesome, we'll see you, Ms. Williams. And I always tell my staff, if you're not a head principal tonight,